Hey there, YouTube. I switched it up this leg workout, and I thought this could be an interesting case study to talk about on the channel, give you guys a little bit more perspective about how you can go about your workouts. And so let's get into it. This is a 3-part workout, and while it sounds like a lot initially, it's not actually when you think about it. I split it into 3 parts, makes it a lot easier on me, but allows me to perform a little better at each portion, right? They're all intense. They all work on slightly different goals, but they blend together on this leg day. I got this idea from a combination of things, right? I heard Bromley, or I think I read in his book how when he was a trainer, he did not have a lot of time to work out. And so he used to split his workouts up in between clients, which for anybody who knows what it's like to be a trainer, you get like 20, 30, maybe an hour break here or there, but not very long, and it's not guaranteed. So you got to make the most of your time. And he talked about this minimalist approach, how he would focus on his compounds, really pushing that intensity in a short amount of time. And he saw growth. And I thought that was really interesting, right? And then I thought about how, what is it? We, in this community, in the fitness community, we talk about splitting muscle groups up among the week, right? Splitting workouts out among the week. So we have different times of rest, different times of pushing. But I don't hear people talk about pushing a lot in the same day. And so I thought this could be an interesting concept. Now, let's just get this disclaimer out the way. 2-a-days, multiple-a-day workouts are going to be a little harder. They are going to be a little more fatiguing, so you need to be focused on your nutrition, pay attention to your joints, pay attention to your rest, right? Because if you're causing more fatigue, but you're not recovering on the back end, it's going to affect your future workouts, right? And there's no point in doing them if it's just going to throw off progress. So we want to do this smartly. We want to approach it intelligently. And so let's talk about the workout now. It's a leg day, deadlift focused, as you can see, which means I'm kind of focusing on the back side of my body, right? That posterior chain, those muscles along the back, the hamstrings, the lats, my lower back, a little bit rear delts. But that's the focus for today. I find it easier to split that up. And then on my squat days, I think I've said this before, I do a lot of quad focused work, get some knee flexion in. Legs are big, right? They require more volume, especially mine. I don't know if this is from running and just having like a lot of endurance and just focusing on that quality for those first years of my athletic life. They're like, it takes a lot to tire out my legs. And so I split the volume up, and this allows me to kind of really focus on one side aspect of my legs, tire them out more effectively. And I'm not in the gym forever, right? Beyond the fact of just being in the gym an hour and a half, 90 minutes plus, then you start to run into, hey, am I doing junk volume? Do I have the energy to keep lifting effectively? So I split it up, whatever. Let's talk about these deadlifts. Deadlifts are kind of funny for me, right? Like, think I am stronger than I have the ability to express. I feel like that's a contradiction. But hear me out. I'm smart enough to realize my faults. I am smart enough to realize I am technically, form-wise, inefficient at the deadlift. I see my hips rise for my back, or before I hinge. It should be a closer to at the same time type movement. I see the lower part of my back unround or round a little bit, which isn't an issue, right? If you are trained, there are plenty of advanced strong lifters who lift or deadlift with a rounded back. But for someone who is trying to get stronger, to have your form be inefficient, it's going to make things more challenging. And I have trap bar deadlifted like 600 pounds and walked with it, right? So to some degree, my body can handle this capacity, although a trap bar deadlift is more quad reliant, less hinge reliant. I've carried a yoke that was 600 pounds plus, so my body can handle this, but my deadlift form is garbage. And I've learned that this past year, I feel like more so than other years, I've done a lot more looking into programming. I wasn't programming it the best way with between pushing that heavy capacity that really drains you and working on other qualities. So I say all this to say, I have a lot to work on with my deadlift, but it can be better. It can be stronger. So let's move on to the leg extensions real fast. I like to switch them up, right? There's 2 ways I like to do these a lot lately. I like to move my feet all the way back, opens up that hip angle, gives me more of a stretch, I feel, in the top of the quad near my hip flexor. And then I also like to push my feet all the way forward like you see now, and this gives me more of a stretch towards that knee, the bottom of my quad. I know I get a little more knee flexion, so I like to go back and forth. I said this before, I will reiterate it. Depending on where I am in the block or even the workout, I will switch up how I am doing an accessory to benefit me, right? In the beginning, when I'm pushing compounds, the goal of the accessory is really just to get that muscle working more efficiently. So I'm not trying to tire it out too much. So we're going high reps, low weight. We're trying to get a pump, because I feel like sometimes a pump and that swelling gives you a little more stability depending on the exercise. But versus later on in the workout where we are done with the compound, so we don't have to save energy, we can go heavier, we can focus on time under tension, we can get a bigger stretch, we can work the muscle more. So these are just things to be mindful of depending on your level, right? The more mindful of what you're doing, the better you can be at performing these aspects. You see me doing some weighted planks. I got this idea from Sam Sheether. They looked fun. They feel much harder than regular planks on the ground. This is fun. This is good. Like, I think it's because my points of leverage are a little different. My toes, my elbows are supported, but the middle of my body, you know, where the organs, a lot of that weight is, where the weight is, like the 45-pound plate now. There's nothing supporting that, right? It's just gravity and leverage. And so I really felt my core shaking under pressure with these. I like those. I'm going to keep them in the program. What was I doing? I did it for time, right? The first time I'd done these, so I went for 30 seconds, 3 rounds, and just feeling the waters. You see me do some heavy deadlifts. Although I was talking about how inefficient I was able, since I knew that I didn't have to finish the whole workout in this short period, I was able to go heavier. So I think I went for a top set for 3 sets of doubles at 405, which is pretty good for me. My max is around 440, again, very inefficient. So I was able to go really heavy on these and then not worry about the other aspects of my workout because I can fuel up in between. So for the most part, the beginning part of this workout, part 1, is completed. Really heavy deadlift focused, posterior chain focused, a little bit of core work in there. Anti-extension, practice anti-extension on one day, anti-rotation on the other. This next part, I'm going to do a little bit of a rant. And if you see me in the gym and you're watching this, you know me in real life. Don't take it personal, because I love everybody I meet in the gym. The gym has changed me. It's given me a social life. And so everyone I meet in the gym is almost always a good friend. No bad people in the gym working on themselves. But you guys know that feeling when you see people in the gym, they come up talking to you in the middle of a set, and it's like, bro, I like you, but the internal angst as I just want to get this set done. Like, I am dying under this set, and you want to hold a darn conversation. And like, to be so lucky to have friends, but to also have to talk to those friends during a set. Jeez Louise. And this day of all days, like, not only did I see multiple people I know, it's been a while, they wanted to talk, that's cool, a darn dog appeared in the gym. So distractions are everywhere. Stay vigilant, my guys. You gotta watch out. The gains goblins are out, but we're gonna keep lifting because that's what we do. We're moving on to part two. Am I British? Stay tuned. So here is part 2 of the workout, and I actually have a great reason for splitting it up, in my opinion. I'm not a punk, right? What you see me training with are Cerberus sandbags. They're in the name. They are sand. It's not balanced like in the gym, these weights, the plates, the dumbbells. It's a little harder to move. It can shift, and this causes you to use, I don't want to say more muscles, but different aspects of your muscles. You're using like the stabilizer muscles. They allow you to get a deeper stretch because you can get in these really awkward positions. And I would say this is closer to functional strength, strongman type strength. Very useful, right? And so I love this kind of stuff. I wanted to add it into my training for a long time. Finally brought some sandbags. I have 3. Now, the joke with these sandbags are, we talked about specificity before, right? And if you're not used to doing something, you're probably going to suck at it. And the fun thing with these sandbags are, you suck at them at first. So I couldn't fill them to max capacity. But I have to get stronger. So it's kind of twofold, right? They're not as heavy as they could be. but they are heavy to me for now, so I have to lift them, and I'm trying to squeeze the training in so it complements my barbell, my strength training, right? I don't want it to hinder it. I want it to complement it. So I'm mostly after leg and back days. I do a lot of lifting with these, and I'm trying to get a lot of density work in, get my body more efficient at lifting it. And as it gets more efficient, I can add heavier weights. As I can add heavier weights, it won't be game changing to my barbell training, but I do expect a good bit of carryover. Very excited to see this. These sandbags, relatively cheap. Sand doesn't cost a lot, except when you buy it in bulk. I think I have about 400 pounds. I was lucky enough that somebody was able to give it to me. But the sandbags themselves, I got them from Cerberus. You can just search it on Google. Official sandbag trainer, strongman equipment creator. This is not a plug, so go do your own research. But only about $200 for all three. Really useful. With these sandbags, let's see, right now you just saw me doing a loaded carry. So that works my cardiovascular, a little bit of my chest, my back, my forearms, my legs when I'm squeezing and kind of going for that distance carry. Now you see me doing sandbag over shoulders, and those kind of start in like a super deficit deadlift. Like, look at my back, like the hinge is crazy. It's like really, really stretched, really extended RDL, and those are useful for kind of strengthening those muscles, especially since I know I'm a round back lifter. I should do everything I can to kind of protect myself against injury. You see me carrying it on my shoulder now for this loaded carry. This is going to work my obliques. This is going to help me with a little bit of core stability, with bracing, right? You do it on one side for a set amount of distance, and then you switch to the other side. And if you ever trained with sandbags, you're going to see real quick why I didn't necessarily want to do this right after the deadlift training, because it would have been challenging, and I couldn't have went all out. I couldn't have focused on the form as much as I needed to, because again, I have to get better at these sandbag lifts in general, right? I'm inefficient. The more I do it, the more reps I can do, the stronger I get. This is my medium-sized bag. I weighed them when I first got them, kind of forgot. I believe this one is around 180. So I have one close to body weight. I have one around 90 pounds, which is lighter, which I've kind of quickly outgrew. I'm going to use it for a lot of throws, overhead stuff. And then I have a heavier one, which is around 200, 210, which is closer to my body weight. The goal is for that heaviest one, the body weight one, to become an easy average, kind of like doing a push-up or a chin-up. So I still have a lot of room to grow. When I started, especially with the middle one, doing 4 sandbag to shoulders, so 2 on each side, I found challenging. But as you can see, I squeezed a lot more in by adding a little bit of a break in between. So I did 2 in a distance carry, 2 in a distance carry, and then I set the timer for about 10 minutes. Every minute on the minute, when I wasn't being a slob and trying to catch extra rest, I would get another set in. This is, again, it's a different way of training, but it's useful for when you can't lift the weight that much, but you still need to get that overall stimulus in. And then I would change it up from set to set. I would go back and forth between the shoulder and like that bear hug carry. But you see now, like, I'm pushing sets where I can. And when I have to, I pull back, not too much, but I push forward, just always trying to squeeze out a little bit more capacity, because this is what makes you stronger. The initial goal is to improve sandbag lifting capacity, get my body used to lifting. As I improve that capacity and see good marketable improvement, whatever the word is, I can train more specificity. So I'll attack it with maybe 5 sets of 8 to sandbag to shoulder, or 5 sets of 100-foot distance carry. Maybe it's heavier or lighter depending on the day. But once I efficiently can lift it, then I can drill out in specificity. Again, splitting this workout into 3 parts allowed me to work on different technical aspects to the highest degree, and all in one day. This is all stimulus in one day. If I refuel the right way and rest and recover, I'm getting something out of this workout, like indubitably so. So I hope you guys got just a different idea of how you can organize your workout, how you can work on different qualities throughout the day. If you find that one is lacking, you can switch it up. It's like Burger King. You can have it your way. You just got to be smart enough and be willing to put in the effort. Between all three of these workouts, there was time to recover, so my muscles could at least recover a little bit. I had enough hydration, so I wasn't feeling tired, and I was able to refuel my carbs, right? The last part of this workout is our barbell rows, working on just that pulling function of the back a little more, that strength function. My lats, I will do a heavy barbell row and some lat pull downs. That's it. I was going for a heavy compound lift and a big stretch. Again, short, sweet. I could push a lot of energy or a lot of effort in that short amount of time. So I hope you guys learned something from watching this. Thank you guys for your time. Comment down below what you think, whether you could handle a workout like this or not, whether it's too much, whether you tried something like this. Any and all is appreciated. It helps the algorithm, helps the channel grow. So thanks. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, I forgot to mention, so we'll do it real quick. Caffeine is the holy grail of workouts. Caffeine, pre-workout. I don't take pre-workout so much. I use caffeine. Started experimenting with that a lot lately, these past couple years and months. 100 milligrams, awesome. 200 milligrams, even better. I feel like above that, it opens your third mind's eye, and you can barely feel your joints anymore. So awesome, but be careful.